learn a little bit more about what you got going on. The purpose of this call is to kind of help me understand where you're at, where you want to go, what are the roadblocks and challenges that have been in your way? How is this shit affecting your life? You know, and then where would your life be without it? If we were able to move through it together, what possibilities exist for you, like that you really believe? You know what I mean? I want honesty is most important, you know? So like I said, I'd rather see what you actually look like. You see what I actually look like. I'm not going to shower and put on a face or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, and then if there's an opportunity, like if we can help you, first and foremost, I got to determine if we can help you. I'm guessing we can, because some of the shit that you're probably in the middle of is stuff that I've been fortunate to go through. People, you know, in my family, people in our coaching program and community. So I want to first determine if I can help you. Second, determine if you want help and what that might look like. Either way, if we don't think we can help you or it's not a fit, I'll try to point you in the right direction and at least, you know, get you some progress. And if it's something that we both decide we want to do, and your mindset, you know, if we get to that point, kind of what I mentioned via text is your mindset has to be, fuck this, I'll do whatever it takes.
That's where I'm at now, man. Yeah,
because if it's not, like, we stay stuck. You know what I mean? If it's like, this, you know, this is inconvenient or it sucks, it's got to be like so fucking painful you don't want to do another week, right?
Yeah.
And then, but that's where all of our power comes from. Those, like, the worst moments in my life all came from that point, you know, and that was the turning of the page, like the beginning of the next chapter. So, you know, it sort of sucks about human nature, but it's also a blessing in that if there's a little bit of pain, it's not enough. We don't change. We just kind of deal with it until it's so fucking loud, you know? So if that's the place, then we can figure out a way for us to potentially work together. Either way, I'll try to help you as best I can. I've got about 45 minutes carved out for us. So let's dive in. Tell me a little bit about who you are. Give me everything that's relevant to this challenge with the anxiety and all of that, and kind of help me understand where you've been, what you've been through, the challenges, what's worked, what hasn't worked, where the pain is at, all that.
Okay. Well, as of right now, man, I've been battling with this anxiety thing for like 6 years now.
Okay.
And 6 years ago, or maybe going on 7 years, I don't know what exactly happened, man, but it was like literally somebody turned on a light switch.
A light switch of anxiety.
Oh, yeah. It was like night and day, like one night going to bed and then waking up the next day and, you know, boom, here I am.
Okay.
You know, and I get a lot of question from, you know, people like, oh, well, what happened at that point? I'm like, dude, nothing dramatic. It's not like I was raped or went through a traumatic, you know, experience. It was just literally like one night I went to bed and I woke up and I was like, what in the hell is this?
There was no stressful occurrence in your life, financial worries, a relationship breakup, nothing like that?
No, because I was so young at the time, you know?
Okay. What age are you now?
I'll be 28 this year.
Okay. All right.
So it happened when I was like 20, 21.
Okay.
So I don't really have any financial burdens or anything, you know? And it's like,
sure,
I've tried everything, Anthony, literally everything. I
know the feeling. I promise you haven't. There's more.
I linked up with a guy who's a holistic doctor, Dr. Brandon Bright, out here in Orange County.
Okay.
And he referred me over to this institute in Costa Mesa, California called the Cones Institute. to link up with this guy, Dr. Charlie. I don't know. He's got a crazy last name. Travels all over the world and teaches reflex muscle testing.
Okay.
So went to their health and wellness class on a Wednesday. Ended up scheduling my appointment and went in there, and he did all this muscle testing. I mean, and then, you know, he prescribed me $350 worth of supplements. Like, take this, you're full of Lyme. And I'm like, but how do you really know he's like, I'm going to tell you something. Your body doesn't lie to you. But it's like,
your body doesn't like you?
No, lie.
Oh, lie. Okay.
Yeah, he's like, your body.
That's a little better. I thought he was a dickhead.
He's like, I travel all over the world and teach this. And normally people that have come to us have been to 12 different doctors before they step in our institute.
Yeah.
And so he tests this. He said, based on muscle testing, but it's like, I'm the type of guy, I'm more analytical. It's like, I want to see tests.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, how are you going to tell me that I have, if you have cancer and you never even tested for it based on my muscles?
Yeah.
Right? That's just how I am. It's like, okay, muscle testing is cool. It's like kinesiology. Maybe there's some benefits to it. The chiropractic, maybe the adjustment and you know, acupuncture and stuff like that can benefit the human body. But as far as testing my muscles to tell me what's in my body, that's not literally drawing my blood out of my body to tell me, okay, you have raging amounts of mercury, you have Lyme disease, and you have this. Because, yeah. I mean, that's what he told me. He said, you have raging amounts of parasites, you have Lyme.
Is he doing all this through muscle testing?
All through muscle testing.
Okay. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but the thing with muscle testing is I've seen it work great and I've seen it not work great. Just like chiropractic or fucking anything. It depends a lot on the practitioner. It depends on how good their pattern recognition is, right? Like, you don't know if this dude started muscle testing a year ago and has done it on 4 people and really has no fucking idea if he's right or wrong. It sounds like he's quite confident in his own abilities. I believe that's a dangerous fucking place to come from with, helping people.
He said, I am the guy in reflex technology, whatever he says. I do seminars and do all this stuff and teach people how to do this.
He's feeling himself a lot.
So for me, he prescribed me all these herbs and he's like, take this, follow this, right?
What do you give you?
Let me see. I got it out here in my kitchen. And so I took all this stuff. I followed this. He's like, cut out gluten. You're allergic to gluten. But he did this all on muscle testing. So it's like, right?
Yeah.
So he said, cut out dairy, cut out gluten, do all this stuff. He gave me Vendiga Supreme.
Vidanga Supreme. All right. That's a good brand. I'm not familiar with Vidanga Supreme, though.
So it just says Vendiga with Amabelli Ribes.
Okay.
He gave me this. It's called HemoGuard Supreme.
Okay.
It's got it says a proprietary blend of Carcia Papaya L, Ginger Bear, and Ginkgo biloba.
Okay.
He gave me this thing called MT Supreme.
All the same company, huh? He likes that company.
Yeah, he says he likes it. So it says it's got a proprietary blends of cordyceps, humilis, lupulus, hops, and clove.
Cool.
He told me to take 3 of these in the morning. Takasumi.
Takasumi, what's that?
He said it's like a charcoal. It's a carbonized bamboo.
All right, for absorbing toxins. Gotcha.
And then he gave me this. It's called Vera Vita Inspercell. So that's pretty much like a multivitamin. And he said, you know, he muscle tested me. I mean, on the back it says 2 serving capsules, you know, and he's muscle tested me. He said, take 2 of these 3 times a day. You know, take 2 of these twice a day.
Yeah.
Take 1 of these 3 times a day based on muscle testing. I've been doing all that, dude. And I reached back out to the holistic doctor. I said, dude, I don't feel anything.
Did he do any tests? Like, besides that, I'm not shitting on muscle testing. It works sometimes, as I mentioned, but it's a part of a program. Like, okay, I gotcha.
So I started doing all that. He's like muscle testing me. He's like, you need 96 ounces of water a day, this and that. I walked out of that place spending like $400, which he charges $100 every 10 minutes.
Okay.
So every 10 minutes you're in his office, he charges $100.
Interesting billing method, but some people are expensive. Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, to be honest with you, I was like, okay, if this is what it's going to take to make me feel better, right? I don't care. I've spent so much money and research, and that's why I bought your book, because I've been following your stuff, man. And I follow Ben Greenfield too.
Yep.
And stuff like that. And it's just, I mean, there's so much truth behind everything that you guys do. So I reached out to you, man. It's just like, I mean, I've tried, cutting out gluten. I've tried cutting out dairy, where I'll just eat like chicken, rice, vegetables, salmon. Try not to eat it too much because of the amount of mercury in it.
Did he say you're loaded up with metals?
That's what he said. So he said all the stuff that and then he said Lyme disease, because I told him, I said, hey, doc, right? I said, I could literally sleep 12 hours and wake up and feel like I slept a half an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I told him, I said, I'm 27 years old, man. I should have the energy to go work 4 jobs in the day and still have energy to come home and hang out with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Right. But I told him I don't have I literally just want, and he asked me, he's like, well, are you depressed? I was like, no, dude, I love life. I'm not depressed. It's just, I feel like I'm a 27-year-old man in a 70-year-old body.
Yeah. Personal question, but who the fuck cares? How's your sex drive? Is your dick working properly?
I can get an erection, but the drive to have sex, it's kind of like, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I don't really have a drive to have sex, but can I get an erection? Yes.
Okay. All right.
But not like 10 years ago, where I just wanted to, man to man, just pound everything that walked, you know?
Yeah. I hear, and like that, as long as that's not prohibiting life or interfering with monogamous relationships, if that's what you want, it's kind of nice to feel that way, because that drive can also be partitioned to work or other shit, going after our goals, working out, training, personal development, whatever.
Because before I went to him, I go to UCSD in San Diego.
Okay.
So, one of the supposedly best hospitals, and I went and told my primary, I said, man, you got to figure out what's wrong with me. I pay you figure out what's wrong with me, right?
Yeah.
And so he's like, all right, well, let's start tackling this and let's see if there is anything serious.
Yeah.
So he sent me to the endocrinologist. He sent me to the hematologist, the cardiologist, the neurologist, every tologist there is.
Yeah.
Right. And there is nothing abnormal. But I told him, I was like, man, this anxiety makes you feel like you're dying.
Yeah.
Emergency room visits, all this stuff. And it's like, gosh. And it's like, people are like, oh, well, why don't you go see a psychiatrist and get on medication? I'm like, dude, screw that. This is a mind thing, and I can overcome my mind. I don't need a freaking pill to mask the problem, which causes 13,000 more side effects later on down the road that are terrible for your body. I'm not going to do it.
Yep.
I know there's a way to overcome this, and I just got to figure that out. And that's why I pretty much reached out to you. Because I seen your story. Somebody actually referred me to you via Instagram, is why I reached out to you. Oh, his name, that's who it was. It was Dr. Brandon Bright in Orange County. He actually referred me to you. He said, hey, check this guy out. He battled with Lyme disease.
Okay.
And if you'll get any help, it's going to be from him, because I know that he's overcame or, is efficient in what he does with Lyme in particular. But like I told him, I said, how do I really know if I have Lyme? He said, well, Dr. Charlie does this, because if he were to test you for every single thing, right, he kind of just threw it all out there to clear everything out. But you test you for every single thing. It's going to cost you thousands and thousands of dollars to test you for all that, you know?
There's some truth to that, man. And like, you know, over the years, like we've ran, not just on myself, but on clients too, as many tests as just about anyone. And you start to realize a lot of these tests, some of them are super accurate and some of them aren't. And like a false positive or a false negative can really fuck up your plans and send you down a wrong path where you think it's one thing and it's not. And then, you know, you're busting your ass, making a lot of changes to your lifestyle, supplements, so on and so forth. And it's like not getting you anywhere because one test fucked up. And so we start everyone out with, we've created like our own health assessment, proprietary health assessment that looks at parasites and metals and Lyme and all of these things using symptoms, right? And then based on those results, we usually recommend 1 or 2 blood tests that give us additional data points and will show us like, how's your immune system doing? Do you show other signs and symptoms of toxicity in the body or things like that? And then we kind of go from there. We used to just order all of these tests, and then a lot of them, it can actually confuse matters, where with Lyme disease, for example, I got what was the best test at the time, at least I thought. It was this test out of California called IGeneX, right? Came back positive. We started testing. Well, what we know now, in going way deeper with this, almost every IGeneX test comes back positive.
Really?
Almost every one. And then what's going on at a bigger level is that if you're dealing with Lyme disease, that means essentially that you have the presence of the Borrelia bacteria in your body. That doesn't mean that's fucking causing your issues, right? Who knows that that's causing it? What if, and I'm saying this, I'm posing this as a question, but I know it to be true. What if people who have the Lyme, who have Borrelia burgdorferi, the Lyme bacteria in their body, have it because their immune system isn't working amazing, right? You just got off of a cold the past few days, been dealing with some shit, right? Well, what if we find that by digging deeper and not just muscle testing, but looking at what's in the blood and, using some tests, but also a lot of these tests aren't sophisticated enough to even do this yet. We see that those people also have Epstein-Barr. They also have Babesia. They also have herpes simplex. Their liver's fucked up from all these other infections. And one of those is causing it. You know what I mean? Like, when these infections don't occur in isolation. And what we tend to do is we're like, oh, I wonder if it's this one infection, instead of saying, no, man, your immune system's not working good. That's the issue. We got to get your immune system working well. We got to get your body making energy better. When your body's making energy better and we've detoxified your liver, you move toxins out like heavy metals. We use some protocols to get those out of the body. Then your immune system starts working better. Maybe we use some kill protocols to restore balance in the body. And as balance is restored, along with some lifestyle changes and things like that, you start feeling more centered. You start feeling more calm. What's going on right now is your body it's a fucking blessing, even though it sucks. It's shouting at you louder and louder, telling you something's off. It's like, dude, figure out what's off. Something's off, right? It's a cry for help. Mm-hmm. So although it's inconvenient, if you didn't have that, what would just happen is all of a sudden at some point we just fall over dead. We'd have no warnings. It'd just be like da 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 da.
Yeah. See, that's what he was trying to tell me. He's like, when I went in there for muscle testing, he's like, oh, we'll take this HemoGuard and this Vendiga because when it works or something and one another supplement, they work together. It makes your blood, he said, slippery. Because you have something in your body that, have you ever seen the people on the basketball courts that just fall over dead and, they have a massive heart attack or their heart goes into cardiac arrest? And I said, dude, I don't have that because nobody in my family's ever died from that.
Yep.
I mean, I could see if maybe I had a history of, my uncles, my grandfathers just dying of massive heart attacks, but I don't have something. So how are you going to tell me based on testing my muscles that I have a certain type of blood that just all of a sudden you're running and you just fall over and die?
Sure.
A lot of those athletes that do that kind of stuff have a terrible, terrible diet. you know, just because they're fit and they're running and they're doing all these exercises and all this, they're terrible. Their health, their inside of their bodies are terrible. One, boatloads of those guys do massive amounts of drugs.
Yeah.
You know, why those guys are falling over the court and dying, you know?
Right.
So he kind of got me worried with that. Like, oh my gosh, is that something that I have? It's like, but then I look at a family history and nobody's ever died of suddenly of cardiac arrest or something like that. Right.
I would imagine you don't need help getting caught in worry loops.
Yeah. You know, that's what I'm saying, man. I'm just like,
I'm good enough at this shit on my own, Doc. I don't need your help.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh my God, dude, I've tried so many. I probably spent $5,000 to $6,000 just on supplements. Okay, research this. Okay, that looks good. I've tried 5-HTP. I've tried SAMe. I've tried all these different supplements to try to help my mind. You know, I've tried Brain Conscience. You know, by Genius.
That's a lot of money, right? I mean,
dude, I spent so much money because I'm just like, what the heck?
$1 billion on all this shit. And like, I'm not saying that bragging. It just shows how much money I fucking wasted on stuff that doesn't work, you know? So $6,000, $10,000, it's a lot, but it's also could be worse. Could be worse. I was $50,000, $100,000 plus before I even started making progress, before anything started making a difference. 12 of those ologists that you mentioned earlier, the 12th one, I'm at the fucking appointment with my mom at about the same age as you. And he comes out and he says the same bullshit that I've heard from every other doctor, which is there's nothing wrong with you.
Yes.
Dude, I started to fucking cry. I was like, I didn't know what to do. I felt like what I realized at the core, and I'm not saying you're doing this, this was my shit, but I was outsourcing my most valuable assets, you know, my body, my mind, my spirit. I was like, hopefully one of these dudes in a white coat can figure it out. Well, like you and I, we're not dumb. We have the internet now. That shit didn't even exist to this degree, you know, a decade ago, where all of these websites with information. If we can't figure it out on the internet, it's not like someone in 10 minutes is going to be able to figure it out, right? It's far more complicated. There's a lot of, it's multifactorial. There's not one thing causing what you're experiencing. It's a lot of different things. And like, before we kind of get into that, I want to help me understand a little bit more about what you've been through, what challenges you've experienced, and how it's affecting your life.
Oh man, challenges. I mean, in every area of my life, you know, challenges would be turning down job opportunities because of this anxiety, you know, turning down, you know, 6 figures a year job opportunities because this fear, you know, of anxiety, like it makes you feel like you're going to die, or, you know, it's destroyed relationships. It's destroyed. Being able to get up and, you know, jump in my car by myself, right? And feel that I can drive from here to New York and not have to worry about anything and enjoy scenery and enjoy nature.
Drive from California to New York?
No, just, for example, right? Or anywhere. I can
tell you from experience that drive would fucking suck unless you're like stopping a lot on the way.
but you know what I mean? Or like, you know, grabbing, you know, my buddy, wanted me to hike. He just got done finishing up the Pacific Crest Trail, you know, took him and you know, just doing stuff like that because it's so, you don't have energy. My brain literally constantly feels like I'm in a cloud. Yeah. Like sometimes I just can't concentrate. I'm just like, what the hell? I'm just like at my, just with everything in all areas of my life, man, it started like destroying relationships that I'm, you know, and even with friends, because people are like, dude, you're not dying.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
But I'm like, what you don't understand is what I feel is not normal.
Yep.
Okay. I know what my body feels.
Yeah.
Like even my mom's like, you know, you're not dying, hun. There's nothing wrong with your heart. You know, you've seen the assistant clinical professor of UCSD who trains the cardiologist class, and there's I mean, I've had echocardiograms and ultrasounds of my heart and EKGs and, CT scans and blood. But my mind, right, tells myself that there's something wrong with me that's causing me to feel like I'm dying. Right. And like I told my mom, like, Mom, this is not normal. It's not normal for me to feel like this on a day-to-day basis from the time I open my eyes to the time I go to bed. I mean, to where the only time I like enjoy throughout the day is going to sleep, because when I'm sleeping, I don't deal with the way I feel when I'm awake. And I mean, it's just destroyed so many areas of my life. I mean, in every aspect, with everything, man. I mean, I can't even sit and enjoy watching a movie because my mind, best way to describe, I told my mom, is like, my mind never shuts down, right? It's just like 1,000 miles an hour. My mind is running. And, I've had sleep studies I've had so much stuff. And I told her, like, my mind never shuts down. So yeah, I may be sleeping, but my mind's never shutting down. So it's constantly running. So when I wake up, I still feel like I haven't slept. Yeah. Because my mind is just going. Right when I wake up, it's like, oh, hello, here I am, anxiety. Here I am, no energy and lack of focus and frustration and, going everywhere. And like, I've gotten to the point where I don't even trust doctors anymore, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just like, man, really? You're a brain doctor and you can't tell me what's wrong with my brain? Yeah. You're a cardiologist, the head professor, and you can't tell me what's wrong with my body? I told mom, I don't go to some hole in the wall clinic. I go to University of San Diego. It's one of the best hospitals in the nation. And you guys can't tell me. It's frustrating, Anthony. It's like, you guys can't tell me what's wrong with me. Hormone doctor. How can you not figure this out? Mm-hmm. How can you not figure out why my body is feeling the way it is?
Get pissed.
Yeah, man, it's frustrating. It's like, man, that hormone doctors, they're like, we've ran all these, my doctor's like, you've had more tests than you ran on you than people do in a lifetime. There's nothing wrong with you. What else do you want me to do? Yeah. I've sent you everywhere. I've sent you to the cancer doctor. I've sent you to the blood doctor. I've sent you to hormone doctors. I've sent you to the brain doctor. I've sent you everywhere. Where else? But I tried it when I go in there, and the last appointment that I went to go see was the endocrinologist. Yeah. And he's like, man, I know you don't want to hear this. And I know, based on your history and your my chart and all that, you've been everywhere and I'm your last stop. Mm-hmm. But I don't have an answer for you. Yeah.
You said the last one you saw was an endocrinologist?
Endocrinologist.
That was my 12th doctor too. That was the last one. That was the moment, I went there with my mom, came out, heard those 5 words, started fucking crying a little bit. And that's when I was like, fuck this shit. I'm figuring it out.
Dude, Anthony, it literally feels like you're losing. You've been there. It literally feels, like I told my mom, like you're losing your mind.
For sure. And especially when everyone tells you there's nothing wrong with you. And
I hate those words, dude. I hate that so much when people are like, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. Oh yeah, really?
Yeah.
Really? How walk a day in my shoes and tell me there's nothing wrong.
Right.
Because there is something wrong, or else I wouldn't be feeling this way.
For sure, man. All right. So what part of all this bothers you the most?
Man, I wish I could say everything.
Yeah.
I lost my marriage because of it,
Okay. Are you dating anyone right now?
No. Hell no.
Okay. Yeah. My world got pretty small when I was feeling like shit. Just like, you start kind of I'm not saying you did, I did. I made it worse by actually cutting people out and just kind of isolating myself because, like I want to always like be the light and be like an uplifting, positive person. And I didn't feel that way. It was very difficult for me to even just like physically show up, let alone show up as the best version of myself. So I would be like, well, shit, I don't want people to see me like this. And it made it all worse. I don't know if any of that.
Oh yeah. I don't talk to, my mom's my biggest supporter, right? I'm
Yeah.
a mama's boy. So do anything for my mom. And that's really all everybody, I have a 3-bedroom condo and, helping a buddy out. But other than that, dude, I don't talk to nobody. I don't associate myself with anybody because just the way I feel, man. I've always been the life of the party and encouraging and, uplifting. My career, man, it's like I've had so many opportunities. Shoot, by now I could probably be a multimillionaire,
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about those. One stands out.
Say that again, Anthony.
Like which missed opportunity career wise or financially or whatever stands out the most to you?
Man, there's been so many, man, there's been literally so many. The last opportunity that came my way, a guy said it paid me $400,000 a year to help run this decorative concrete company, 80 employees and, company truck. And everything is like, you never have to pick up tools again. Just, yeah. I know you have the knowledge and I need it.
Yeah.
And I'll give you this, I'll give you bonuses, I'll give you a company cell phone, you have medical, dental, vision, 401k, whatever you put in, I'll match. I'll give you a $400,000 a year salary.
Right.
And I couldn't.
Right.
Literally because, even though with the work I do now, it's cost me so much, hundreds of thousands of dollars by now. Probably even in the millions of dollars that I've lost because some days I'll just, I'll say, for instance, you're a contractor. Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. And I wake up in the morning. I'm just like, there's no way I can get out of bed.
Yeah.
There's just no way, and then after that happens 3-4 times, people are just stop calling you.
I gotcha.
Or you show up late because, you're so tired to get out of the bed in the morning and you hit bumper to bumper. Just all kinds of stuff. Countless my circle with work has gotten literally this small because of how I feel.
Yeah. If you started showing up and over delivering and you felt better in order to be able to do that, would you be able to grow that circle?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. 100%. I have drive to get better, right?
Yeah.
But that's like where all my drive is aimed towards right now. Like I don't have drive to get up and go to work. I don't have a drive to like go look for work anymore. My drive is to feel better.
Right.
And because my energy is so limited throughout the day.
Yeah.
I don't have time to focus on looking for, my focus is, okay, well, I can focus on looking for work and getting this energy to meet with these clients and these superintendents and these project managers and these owners of these companies. But why waste all my time there when I'm not feeling good and I know I'm not going to be able to deliver what they need?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So why focus my energy and time in there when I know I'm not where I need to be,
For sure, man. Okay. Now, some of those mornings, like I understand because I've experienced them, many of them for long periods of time. Can you think back to like the most recent time that happened?
Just yesterday.
All right. So yesterday, right? You wake up, alarm goes off, you got somewhere to be, right? If someone's in there with a fucking gun up against your temple saying, get the fuck out of bed or I'm blowing your brains all over the pillow, could you drag yourself up?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? It fucking sucks because you got to do it every day and then there's no light at the end of the tunnel, right? Part of this journey out is that mentality. Like you're clawing with your fingernails for every fucking inch you can get. And over time, there's going to be some days that fucking suck worse. And there are some days that are going to be better. But it needs to be like you've got shit that you know is going to help, that you believe is going to help. And you got to take that like everything is on the fucking line. And if I don't, mentality. That's the only way to dig yourself out. And a lot of times we look at shit that's hard in life just as, you know, oh, like Khabib's fighting Dustin Poirier in somewhere in the fucking East. I don't know. On Saturday, right? Like that's a hard situation, right? Those guys are going to fucking eat elbows and smash each other's faces in. That's hard. It's also hard to fucking dig yourself out of bed when you don't feel like it. This is your fight, right? And you need to look at it as, if you want to win, you got to look at it as everything's on the fucking line every second of every day. And some days that may mean you got to go fucking put some caffeine in the system or whatever gets it done. You know,
I don't even drink caffeine because of the anxiety.
Oh yeah, it makes it worse for some people. All right. Well, there's other things too. Mentality wise, that's important. It's got to be like, because honestly, man, it takes time to really get out of the weeds. And with the way the human body works, a lot of times it's like one step back, two steps forward, one step back, two steps forward. And, you know, you start going after infections or heavy metals or whatever. And you get a little bit of a die-off reaction or a Herxheimer reaction. And then you're like, oh, fucking feel worse. And then like 2 or 3 days later, your liver's caught up and you're like, I feel fucking amazing. Why can't I feel like this all the time? You know, but that's part of it. You just got to be like, I'm the fucking guy that does what I say I'm going to do. And I know that I'm focused on the big picture, you know, 6 months, 12 months, I'm going to be a completely different man. You know what I mean? And realistically, I'm not going to bullshit you. You'll probably continue to improve for the next 18 months, 2 years, right?
It's just hard, Anthony, like where you constantly feel like because of the anxiety, like you're dying, like your heart's going to stop at any moment or.
For sure, dude. Panic attacks, all that shit fucking blows. All right, let's talk about if anything were possible, right? Where do you want to be 6 months from today? And like paint a real clear picture, imagining that words have power, because they do. And the shit that you put out there, you're letting the universe know and the people around you know that that's what you're willing to work your fucking ass off for and create. So choose your words carefully and paint a very vivid picture of where you want to be 6 months from today.
Mentally or just overall?
Overall.
I mean, in 6 months, I honestly think I could have my business going, have a peaceful mind, and energy. I mean, if I could honestly say in those 3 words, a peace of mind, energy, and my business going, I mean, I don't think I can ask for much more, honestly, Anthony.
Okay.
I mean, an anxiety free. I mean, I know I can get there, you know?
Yep.
You know, to be able to sit down and be like, oh my God. I mean, it's, for me, it's like the big picture I know is there and I can draw that and detail it, imagine it, paint it in my mind. But for me, mentally, it's just more the most simplest things that others take for granted, right?
Yep.
To whereas I could say, I want to be traveling the world and be a multimillionaire in this time. And I know I can get that. But for me, it's just more like the simplicity stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you know, where money can't buy peace, where, you know, stuff like that, just a peace of mind,
Yep.
Energy, to where I wake up and be like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking ready to go. And I want to wake up at 4 a.m. and, you know, go on a run.
Yep.
Because I feel so great.
Yep.
You know, making those phone calls and setting up meetings because I feel so great. And I have that energy, the motivation to be able to deliver a product to somebody, right? I mean,
if it were possible, let's say in 6 months, to have your business going, to have peace of mind and a peaceful mind, and to have energy, you know, consistent energy. And yeah, there's going to be fucking ups and downs. There's going to be days where you feel worse than today, right? That means progress. There's going to be days where you feel better than today. That means progress. Like, how far are you willing to go? You know,
I'll do whatever it takes.
are you willing to move?
Oh yeah.
Are you willing to eat or drink the most disgusting shit you've ever thought about eating or drinking?
Yep.
Are you willing
Absolutely.
Are you willing to apply that stupid fucking phrase, but I got to use it, which is like, you know, like the fake it till you make it, where like, if you don't want to get out of bed, you imagine someone's got a fucking gun to your head and you drag yourself out of bed. And I don't give a shit what you got to do. Cold shower, get yourself on a treadmill, get yourself on an elliptical. You know what I mean? It doesn't fucking matter. But you imagine that if you don't, it's game over. You know? That's the only way you're going to be able to fucking build this and fight your way out. You need to look at it as every single decision matters, and every single decision is building momentum that is moving you towards where you want to go. Because right now you're fucking stuck, right?
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%.
I mean, you need to start building your fucking word again, man. There's people out there that think your word is dog shit.
Yep.
Right? There's people that you've hurt from this. I mean, does that all sound fair?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, dude, I lost my marriage. Can you believe that? My woman because she's like, I mean, it's all you want to do.
Yeah, man. I mean, I get it. Look, $6,000 is a lot. And I'm going to talk you through some options. You can pick. I'm not going to fucking sell you. And honestly, like, I'm a little torn here because, you know, you're acting like $6,000 is a lot. We don't even have $6,000 programs. So we got people that invest $25K, $10K, and sometimes we'll do $5K. Only you know what you have available on credit cards and all of that, and what's worth it to you. And that's your decision. It's not my place, right? So I want to give you some value here that can help you. And then I'll open up a spot for you if you want it. And you can, if you want to think about it for a few hours, you can think about it. If you want to just take some of the stuff that I share and do your own thing, you can. Does that sound all right?
Absolutely.
So there's a couple of things that I'll share with you that are playing a big role. Well, one's playing a big role in what you're experiencing. Another is a tool that could help you more than just about anything. And like, honestly, if you had to decide whether you just, you know, utilize this tool, do your own research and look into it, right? It's a plant medicine, but it shits on all those supplements you're taking. It's also illegal in the US. You'd have to go out of the country to do it, right? But frankly, dude, if you had to decide between going and doing that for a week and a program, best results would be doing both. But if you had to decide, I would tell you to go do that. Okay. Cause it's that fucking powerful. Right. And then if you were able to find a way through whatever, I mean, people get creative when they want something. But you and I, we'd need fucking 6 months together. Like we could rush it in 3, but I don't think we get all the way there. Like with this stuff, 6 to 12 is better. And it took me, it took me 18, and frankly, man, I continue to feel better every year. I feel like I'm going the opposite direction, which is a good thing. It's just when we're in the trenches of feeling like complete garbage every day, like just a normal day seems like heaven on earth. So,
how do you feel now?
Most of the time I feel fucking great.
Compared to how when you were bedridden and all that.
Dude, my life was fucking dog shit. I stopped talking to my friends. I was a monk for 1.5 years. I didn't bang any girls. My dick didn't even work. I was depressed. I was fucking on antidepressants, all this shit that I had to get myself off of. Like, it was fucked.
Did they help?
Huh? The antidepressants? Oh, I would have been able to live without them. I would have killed myself.
Really?
I wouldn't have killed myself. I shouldn't throw that term around lightly, but I think there's so much taboo around these topics. Like, they lose some of their power if you're like, if someone came in and fucking killed me, I wouldn't have stopped them. You know what I mean? I wasn't like planning my shit. It was just, I was miserable,
Yeah.
So yeah, it helped. And honestly, man, until I started utilizing this plant medicine, like that was one of the things that allowed me to get off of it. But I changed my whole life, dude. I moved to Florida. I was like, I had to reconnect with nature. I had to get my body clean and get all these fucking toxins out. Some of those toxins are like infections, right? We don't realize how much our environment plays a role in our health. And I'm going to share one thing with you where whether or not, we do this together and go on this journey together, you'll see on this fucking call, you'll feel a difference. I'll show you some cool shit. But you got a pen and paper?
I'll get one right now. Give me 1 second.
Yep. All right. So the first thing that you need to do, and we'd go into more detail on this working together, but you got to go online. Maybe they have it on Amazon. Let me actually see if I can get you a link. All right, hold on. Let me just find this shit for you because it's kind of hard to find. Okay. You got access to the chat. I just put a link in the chat. Copy that link and save it on your phone, or you want me to email it to you? I can email it to you too.
Okay, it's okay, copy. Let me see. Put up my notes. My phone. Okay, the Enoversins.
Yeah, what is it?
Envirosins.com.
Oh wait, you're talking about
the link you sent me?
Yeah, that. Okay. So dude, you got to get that fucking thing, and I'll show you why.
Okay.
One of the things that's probably, I mean, that's why when you were like, I've done everything, I'm like, I've probably got 10 things you didn't even know existed. Like, you ever seen one of these?
No.
All right. So I want to show you something. This thing, when it's in RF mode, which stands for radio frequency mode, you can see on the side, it's got RF at the top there.
Uh-huh.
That means RF. That's the amount of microwave radiation that's in your environment. This shit it drives your brain up into this unnatural, anxious state, fucks up your cells, runs down your immune system, can make you feel like complete garbage. This isn't the whole picture, but it's a big factor that's affecting you right now. I'll guarantee that. Haven't met a client that it isn't affecting, right? It's one of the reasons that I don't have Wi-Fi in my home.
I do.
You do. I have Ethernet. I guarantee you start unplugging your Wi-Fi, you'll notice a difference, but it's not going to be enough. I would go fucking full psycho and go Ethernet. But let me show you the way that this works so you can see an example. So without Wi-Fi in here, I'm going to turn this on, and this thing tells you if it has more than 2 green lights or is beeping, you got to have the sound on, obviously. That means that you are exposed to an amount of radiation that has been shown in studies to cause damage to humans and mammals, right? So if I just put this where you're at right now, the way that you've been using the phone, it would light up like a Christmas tree and beep like crazy. So with your router, with your phone, and a whole bunch of other shit, you're just taking your brain and running it up into this super high beta stressful state. An unnatural place where it's never been. And you've been there for fucking years, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to just, without Wi-Fi in here, if I had that, this thing would light up even more. But look where it's at right now. So you can kind of see my environment, right? You see how it's 2 green lights and no noise? Now, I'm going to turn on my phone by taking it out of airplane mode. I'm not using my phone. I just took it out of airplane mode. Are you hearing it beep and shit now? Now I'm going to turn the Wi-Fi on my computer, which everybody's computer has on. And then I'm going to I'm going to turn on Bluetooth, which everybody has on.
Wow. Wow.
You're in a soup of that shit. I'm going to turn that stuff off because it's fucking annoying.
Wow, dude, that's just in that room too, huh?
I'm in a room with no Wi-Fi. Your room's way fucking worse.
Hey, well, look, I haven't got. I'm waiting on my entertainment center to get delivered, but let me see if I can see all that. Watch.
Oh, there you go. There you go. What's for dinner? It's Jonathan.
Hey, I got the Wi-Fi box right there.
Yep.
Got all the routers and everything right there. The TV's connected to the sound bar on Bluetooth.
There you go, bro. That's like one of probably 10 to 20 things you have no idea are fucking you up. Right?
Wow.
So you got to get that, and at a minimum, make it where 2 or less green lights and no beeps. And there's a lot of other shit, but I want to kind of point out that you're not crazy. You just don't know enough. You just don't have the right skill set right now. I'm going to send you one more link here.
I can't wait to start reading this.
There's some stuff in there, but I wrote that before I even knew most of this.
Really? But it's a good book, huh?
Yeah, it'll fucking help, dude. It'll help. All right. The second link I just sent you. Copy that and save it.
Biohacking. So why is it that everybody's body is different, right? Like some people can be in the same room and don't have
there's a genetic component. There's a test that you could do. Like if we were working together, I'd tell you about the test. I don't order it all the time because it's another expensive test, and I like always having a return on investment for everything. Mm-hmm. But you could look and see if you have the gene where you are affected by it more than other people. And it's a little bit complicated. We don't need to go into it, but there's a genetic component. Now also think about this. What are antennas made out of? Fucking metal, right? Mm-hmm. How did Ben Franklin get lightning to strike? He put a metal key on his kite, right? Now, what if your body's flooded with heavy metals? You're one giant fucking antenna for all this shit in the air. So you in a room, whether or not you have the genetic component, and someone else in the room that maybe doesn't have heavy metals, impacted by these electromagnetic frequencies differently.
Yeah.
It's a little heavy shit. There's a lot to it. I don't want to confuse you, but does that kind of make a little bit of sense?
Absolutely.
Like you're walking around like a fucking antenna, and these signals are amplified. Not to mention the fact that these frequencies, you know, like let's say overall over the past 7 years, your exposure has been higher than other people because you didn't even know, right? Well, when you're all stressed and anxious, you're in something called fight or flight, right? Mm-hmm. All the time.
Yes.
Well, what doesn't happen when we're in fight or flight is we don't detox. So you may not have even been exposed to more heavy metals than other people, but they're detoxing them better than you are. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So that's another way that it could be impacting you. The second link is that Rhythmia link. So that's the place that I went to in Costa Rica. If you go there, you can do a plant medicine called ayahuasca. AYAHUAS. AYAHUASCA. I want to be clear. Neither of these things are going to be a magic bullet. Neither is my book. Like we have a complicated situation that involves unwinding this stuff, and never on calls do I go into tactical shit. This would usually be part of our first call. But I'm putting you in a position where you can decide if you want to either use credit cards and invest 10K or you want to do this on your own. Either way is fucking fine with me, you know? If you had to decide one or the other, I would, and you did your own research and you made your own decision as a grown man, I would go to Rhythmia and I would load up on ayahuasca. I'd drink as much as they'd let me for a week. And you know, 4 ceremonies, shit will fuck you up, but it will also clean
What is it exactly?
You can read about it. It's spelled AYAHUASCA. You'll see some details for it on their website. But it's a plant medicine that's a natural anti-parasitic, natural antibiotic, natural antiviral. It flushes out the body. It's not going to get rid of everything, but it will vastly reduce your pathogen load. Even if we're working together, I'm going to say you should fucking go to that place, right? Like we're going.
Why is it illegal?
Because the U.S. fucking sucks. Why has pot been illegal until recently? It's one of the most effective plant medicines that exists. It's fucking intense, dude. I mean, shit had me sidelined for 4 to 6 hours one night, but the next day was also one of the best days of my life. So, and I shat out a parasite, and I've done parasite protocols from every stretch of the earth. So do your own research on that. But, you know, if you also get involved in a program, the investment is 10K. We don't have payment plans or any shit like that. You'd have to figure out a way to make it work, and you'd have to let me know tonight before 9 p.m. Eastern. But I would include 6 months of consulting to help you with this. So we'd have 2 calls a month. You'd have Carrie and myself helping you. You would be able to come to the event in October. That would also help. And you know, that's in some cases, people have invested $7,500 just to go to that. And then if you wanted to come to Costa Rica, we're going to be going in the first quarter of 2020. So if you also wanted to come, you could come the same week that we're going, and you'd still have to fucking pay for it the same way. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a deal with them. I'm going and paying for it myself. The shit's just great as a reset and cleanse. But you'd be able to go with a group of people rather than like going alone. You know what I mean? So all that would be included. Do you feel like you're kind of clear on getting the ENV RD10 meter, putting it in RF mode with the sound on? You got to clean up your environment. You don't need to be an expert. I can help you in more detail, but like, there's no doubt in my mind that you're just microwaving yourself a lot of the time right now. You know, like, I wouldn't even have been holding my phone to talk to me. I'd have that shit in a selfie stick, so it's 1.5 feet away from my hand. Like, there's just a lot of shit that you probably haven't thought of, right? And then the last one. So we're going to do this, and then I'm going to give you a chance to ask questions or whatever, but I want to show you that we can create a pretty powerful state shift quickly. And again, none of these things, the book, ayahuasca, EMF meter, what we're about to do, they're not going to fix all this. Shit's complicated. There's metals. You got to have a best practices for getting rid of heavy metals. You know what I mean? And parasites and Lyme. Like, it's all little shit. We probably got to get your liver working as good as it can be, so that when we kill stuff or mobilize toxins, they don't get stuck at your liver and leave you feeling like shit for 4 days. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, you got to bring the heat with a warrior mindset, where you're like, I'm giving every ounce of everything I have to every minute of every day, because it's worth it. And because I'm sick of fucking living like this, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, and I'm ready to launch my company. I'm ready to, you know, start building freedom, health freedom, mental freedom, financial freedom, all of those things. You know, one of the guys who's going to be at the event owns a successful construction company. He's now got the whole thing fucking automated and working great. He's at a different stage of the game, but has had some similar issues to you, right? So, you know, you work your ass off between now and October, you guys may be able to network and have some synergies together, right? He owns all the fucking trucks. He's got project managers running shit. He just hired a project manager. So now he's the boss overseeing things. Like, do you think it would be good for you to spend 3 days in the room with that guy?
Oh, absolutely.
Right? So it's your decision. I'm presenting the opportunity. You can decide. So the last thing, I want you to kind of get comfortable. We're gonna do a form of breath work that is going to be challenging. I'll kind of describe. Have you done breath work before?
Uh-uh.
All right. So I'll kind of describe how we're gonna do it. And have you ever smoked weed before?
When I was a teenager.
Okay. You'll get a little bit of a natural high. It'll be different than weed because it's fucking air, right? Closest example I can give you. So what we're going to do here, more or less, is show you a way to breathe. And it's going to be all mouth breathing for this. So we're going to take, I want you to imagine you've been like swimming underwater in like the ocean or something. And you're like free diving, right? You're down like 30 feet. And all of a sudden you realize you're fucking like out of air, dying for air, right? And you're swimming to the surface, and then you break the surface. And like with your lungs empty, you take the biggest, deepest breath with a wide open mouth that you've ever taken. So it's kind of like this, like, so try like a huge inhale, and that inhale needs to go first to like your belly. So I want like your whole torso is where your focus is, but it's got to get real low first. So your belly's got to expand like a balloon, like your belly button pushes out away from the spine. You even imagine like your back is expanding backwards, your sides are opening up. And then like on top of that, your rib cage is like opening up and expanding in every direction. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like empty your lungs. Now, big one. Okay, good. Now, do you feel, what percentage of your lungs do you feel like you utilized?
Probably more than I ever have.
Okay, good. So now I want you to do like 5 of those in a row. So it's going to look like this.
So it almost makes you dizzy.
Oh, you're going to get dizzy as fuck. You may even.
So have, off subject, but have you ever done like back in the day? I used to do it stupid, but where people would do breathe in like nitrous. Yes.
Yeah, of course.
And like wah wah, and that's kind of like the same concept, right?
Yeah, dude. We in college we went to the. I think I've done whippets twice, but one time I remember we were at this thing called Chester Invasion. It's this little like bumblefuck town in Illinois that a bunch of the guys in my fraternity were from. And we were there, and it's like the slogan that was like on the shirts, dude, it was terrible, but it was like drink beer, shoot guns, kick ass. And it was like you just get fucked up for like 3 days with your friends, and dude, we'd be like out shooting guns. It was like super dangerous. I'm surprised no one was. We'd have beer Olympics. People were like, you know, you'd have to like see who could chuck an empty keg backwards over their head the furthest. We'd like have races around the lake. Somewhere in there, I ended up doing whippets and sitting by a speaker and was like, wow, it was fucking. Yeah, you're gonna get some of that. Okay. Yeah, you'll probably. I mean, dude, don't take this personal, but you're probably a shitty breather. So you'll probably get dizzy and high like very, very quickly. But that's all right. You just push through, right?
Yeah, that's like when the doctors put those stethoscopes, those things on your back. They're like, breathe. Yes. And they're like, move it, move it, move it, move it, move it. And you're like, oh, what the hell?
Yeah, exactly. So you're going to get lightheaded and all of that. And that's fine. You can sit back in the chair. You can even lay down if you want. I don't care. As long as you're still doing it, as long as you stay in it, that's fine. Like when I really go hard, I usually lay down, and that's all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 100 breaths, okay? And you may get tingling, like numbness. You may even find your hands go like anything like that. Like all that shit's normal. Don't let your anxiety start making you worry. You know what I mean? Just like fucking go with it. You're going to feel pretty good. And it's going to move some energy and stuff. So we're going to do about 100 of these breaths, and then, and I may get a little high with you. So if it's more or less, forgive me, but we'll get fucking close enough. Then we're going to do a hold. So after we've like done 100 of these deep breaths, we're going to, on the last one, so let's say it's like 99 and then 100, we're going to go, and we're going to hold it as long as we fucking can. And during that time, you're going to be high. It's going to be natural. And you're going to feel pretty fucking calm and centered and quiet. Some of these feelings that may have escaped you for a long time. And then you're going to go get all your credit cards and pay me $10,000 so I can fucking help you. No, I'm kidding. You don't have to. I'll walk you through the rest of it, though. But that's enough for the first phase. So 100 of these, the biggest, deepest breaths you've ever taken.
Back to back to back to back?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're just staying in it. And I want you to think like this, 110% in. I know that shit's dumb. I hate when people say 110%. But it's like, I don't want you to try to fill your lungs. I want you to try to stretch your lungs. Right? Okay. And then, but you're only releasing about 30%. Like a third, and then you go right back into the next one. So there's like no time in between breaths. The thing is, though, dude, I wouldn't be walking around because you want to be sitting or laying down, one of the two. But
Okay, I'm gonna sit.
I would even sit where, like, then if you want to lay down, you can.
Yeah, I just stuck in my bed right now.
Yeah, that's fine. There's only been one time where I've done this with, like, I mean, I did it in a room with 3,500 people. We were all doing it, right? So I've done it with thousands and thousands of people. There's only been one time where someone was like, I'm not sure if I feel safe. And this was a guy who, so like I mentioned, all that weird shit where you're like, if your hands tighten up or like you get tingling or numb or your face goes, all that's normal. What he said that was different was, and this was a guy who was like, you know, played in the NFL. He's like a fucking beast. He'd been in a plane crash, like some Bruce Willis Unbreakable shit, and like everyone died and he survived. You know what I mean? And
wow.
so lots of head trauma. And he told me, he's like, dude, my head doesn't feel right. I was like, all right, let's stop. That was the only case. And like nothing bad happened. I just didn't want to risk it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm putting your mind at ease because you're probably going to feel a bunch of shit that's different. And I just, you know, don't fucking worry about it. You'll be all right. All right. So we're going to do 100 of those breaths. It's a 110% in, an expansion of your ribs, your belly, your lungs, everything. And then it's only 30% out, and there's no time in between breaths. You go right into the next one.
So when you say 30% out, what exactly?
Yeah, okay. Let's do like 5 together. So I'll show you what it looks like.
Okay.
So here's 5, right? I'll do 5 and then you do 5. So it's like this. So it's right?
That looks pretty intense.
Dude, if you're doing it right, it's fucking hard. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So try 5 in a row, 110% in, ribs, lungs, belly, everything's expanding. And then all you do is you kind of release a little bit of the pressure. And it's like, and with that release of a little bit of the pressure, there's a little bit of relaxation that happens too. So like, watch like how my body kind of softens when I exhale that 30%, and then I go right back into it. So like, I'm like working hard on the inhale, and then my whole body softens, and like I let stress and tension go, and then I'm right back into it. You know what I mean? I'm not like exhaling where I'm like, you're chilling in it, right? So it's,
yeah.
You do the work. And there's a bit of a gasp, like you're trying to make your mouth as big as possible and use your lung power to pull in as much air as you can in as short a period of time as you can, and then you release and go and release and go, right? So give me 5 of them and kind of feel your way through it. You're going to need to about one. Okay. All right, you ready? Let's go. All right, good. That's fine. You may cough. We're gonna kick out some of those fuckers who've been inhabiting your lungs. They're not gonna like all this breathing. You feel comfortable with it?
Why not? What do I got to lose, right?
All right.
Not going to kill you.
So what I want you to do is I'm going to talk you through it a little bit at the beginning. Like I'll be doing some of it with you. I'll also be talking. When you start feeling dizzy, lightheaded, tingling, any of those things, I want you to give me a hands up so I know. You know what I mean? Like raise an arm so I know you're feeling it. You're like, all right, I'm definitely, you know, high, dizzy, tingling, tightness, whatever you experience. Give me a way to, so I know, right? And then I'll say I got you, and you can put your hand down. You know, I just want to make sure that we get you there where you're feeling it, and you may feel it in the first 30 breaths or sooner, right? Okay, you ready? And there's going to be periods here. I want you to pick certain spots where, especially if like you want to go deeper, then push more with the breath, get a bigger, deeper breath, pick up the pace. You know what I mean? Like that will dictate how deep you go. So the same way, like you're, you know how boxers, like you ever seen Floyd Mayweather fight?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like most of his punches are like, like they're nothing. But then some of them he throws hard.
Yeah.
Like some of it you're going through the motions, and then some of them I want you to like be like, all right, the next 10 I'm gonna fucking go as big as I can, you know, and then you kind of go back into the rhythm, right? I'll talk you through it. We're gonna pick up the pace as we go. The speed.
So you don't, but you can't pass out from it, right?
No, you'll just kind of stop breathing beforehand. Yeah. Yeah, you'll be all right. I mean, dude, if you feel unsafe at any point, you can always stop. It's just, there's a difference between different feelings you've never experienced and unsafe, you know? So have fun with it. All right, you ready? Here we go. Good, keep going all the way in. Expand those lungs, expand the ribs, belly like a balloon. Good, I got you. Keep pushing, go deeper. Let's go, we're gonna do 15 more. Push for 15, then we're gonna hold. Let's go. Last 10, load up. 4. Last 2. Last 1. All the way in. Close your mouth and hold it. Hold that breath and be still. You can put your hand down. I want you to relax here. Just hold that breath. Relax a little bit more, starting with the top of your head. Relax your face. Let your shoulders drop. Let your belly relax. Keep holding that breath. I want you to really challenge yourself here. Whenever you feel like you need to breathe in, empty your lungs. Until then, hold. Relax more. Let your body be like water. Good job. Keep challenging yourself. No wasted energy on tension. You're loose. And then whether it's 10 seconds from now or 2 minutes from now, whenever you feel like you're getting that I need to breathe, that's when you first empty your lungs and hold a little bit longer. Exhale, 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 exhale. Hold a little bit longer. Are you still empty lungs? Good. Now, whenever you have to breathe with empty lungs, I want you to take one more breath like we just did, but the biggest, deepest breath you've ever taken. Huge. Good. Lock it in. Squeeze. Flex every muscle in your body. Squeeze your Kegel muscles, the muscle you use to stop taking a piss. Squeeze your abs. Squeeze your arms. Squeeze your butt. Squeeze your legs. Flex and send the energy up to the top of your head with your eyes closed. Close your eyes and look to your third eye. Look to the top of your head. Squeeze. Harder. 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 3, 2, 1. Now relax. Let go. And then kind of come back to a gentle breath in and out through your nose. How do you feel?
Just like my body's just relaxed.
Not bad, right? Now, do you understand how you haven't tried close to everything?
Now that makes you feel like your head starts tingling, you get lightheaded, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. So,
You do that every day?
nope. I used to for a while. Now I end up teaching it most of the time. It's a tool, you know, it can help. But, so do you have any questions for me?
So with the 10,000, that includes coaching with you, right?
Yeah, we'd have 6 months. So
Okay.
we'd be able to get in some sessions before the event. If you wanted to come to the event, we include that as like it's included for free with the 10,000. So,
But you got to pay for your airfare and all that.
yeah, you'd have to get here however you want. So, you know, you'd fly into Fort Lauderdale, and then if you decided you want to do it, I'll make sure you got a spot in the house, so you wouldn't have additional housing or hotel costs. So like normally that's only for the people in the house are going to be people that have paid $25,000 for coaching, right? If this is something that you want to do and you find a way to make happen, then you know, I'll make sure there's a spot in the house for you as well, assuming you want to come to the event, right? And yeah, so we'd have 6 months of coaching, you'd have the event included, and then if you wanted to come to Costa Rica at the same time we're all there, you'd be able to come and do it the same week that we're there as well. I think that would also, like, all of these things would be beneficial. And you know, I'm being realistic with you. Like, all in, you'd probably be around 15 G's if you did the ayahuasca and you know, supplements and changes and shit like that. But hopefully you can see, like, I don't fuck around. What I do works. You know, you're not going to be playing grab ass for the next 10 years of your life, missing out on hundreds of thousands of dollars and relationships and cool shit. And if you decide that for whatever reason, you know, you're not in a position to do it, then hopefully you got some value from this call and all that.
Okay.
Anything else I could help with? Any other questions?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, cool. And
actually, I do have one more. So, do you recommend like dairy and gluten cut out too, right?
Yeah, like no one does well with that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've never met, like, there's some people that do better with like certain types of grass-fed dairy and whatever, but I've never had anyone improve their health or body or, you know, peace of mind by eating shit from like unhealthy cows. And
do you eat fast food?
Sometimes. I mean, I'm pretty open, man. Sometimes for a long time I was fucking perfect. And I think, like, for you, going through a period where you're super dialed in, and like, if we're doing this, you're like, I want to do every fucking thing I can to feel as good as I can, as fast as I can. Right. That's what I did when I was going through it. But like, you know, I went on a date last night and had a couple fucking drinks and whatever. Like, that to me is fun. That's part of living, you know?
Yes.
And, you know, a couple weeks ago, I ate some fucking fast food because I was high and wanted to. That's what I do sometimes. It's not like if I'm, you know, if I'm dialed in 95% of the time and occasionally I want to fuck off because it's fun, that's all right. You know, I've laid the groundwork to be able to do that. And I still usually feel like a difference the next day because it's not good for me, you know, but whatever. All right, cool. And then I'll text you. So what we'll do is, if you want to do it, let me know before 9 p.m. Eastern tonight. Gives you
which is what my time?
Gives you about 3 hours, little over 3 hours.
Okay.
And I'll text you there's 2 credit cards that some people who do coaching will use, because both of them have 0% interest for 15 months. So it like, you know, if you got to know you're all in, and you got to know that like every morning you're getting up and you're fucking doing it. And I don't give a shit if you got to drag yourself out of bed. We know it's going to be hard, right? We're not fooling anybody here. But it will work. It's going to be a lot easier than doing hard shit that doesn't work. And you got to know that like, if you invest in yourself, that you're going to get a return on it, because you're going to put in the fucking work, and you're going to make your word gold again, and you're going to work your fucking ass off, you know, and you're going to be like, whatever I put in, if I invest, you know, $10,000 with Anthony and then other shit costs me another $5,000, ask yourself what that could make you in job opportunities. What could acting with, you know, one of the guys at the event that runs the type of company that you want to have, what could that do for you? You know, you got to convince yourself that that you're going to get a return on the investment, right? I spend $50,000 to $75,000 a year with business coaches and people who can make me better at shit, right? They don't promise me a return on investment. I got to tell myself I'm going to fucking do the work, and I'm going to get a return on investment on that money that I invest in their mastermind or their course or their event, right? So I'll text you the name of those 2 credit cards. If you want to check them out, you can go to their website and apply. Or if you have credit card availability, or you have money, or someone wants to loan you money and you want to do it, cool. Or if not, dude, I wish you the fucking best. And you know, hopefully you got some value from the call.
Yeah, I got a good chunk of money right now. I'm just, if you could send me those 2 credit cards.
Yeah.
I got a good chunk of it in cash. So.
Yeah, I'll send you those, and then I'm gonna go get a workout, and I'll you know, just let me know before 9 p.m. if you want to rock.
Okay, sounds good, Anthony. Appreciate you, man.
Take care, John.
Thank you very much. You too.